Hi guys, welcome this Wednesday evening to my chat with Khushbu Sundar, actor turned politician and a very vocal person, very vociferous. Sorry for the little delay. Thank you so much for joining me. My friends are all coming on and I'm really happy to be speaking to her because this is the first live that she's doing with somebody. Hi all, hi friends. And this is the first live that, she's doing with someone, and I think it's really exciting that she chose to do it with me. So thank you so much, Khushbu ma'am. And I'm just waiting for her to join me before we start off this conversation, which is, hi, good evening.
Hi, good evening. I'm so sorry. I was under the pressure 7, so you can see all wet hair.
No worries at all. I hope, I didn't take you away from something else.
Impression that it was a little late. It's 7ish or something. And
Okay.
gardening, and then I was all sweaty, so I had a nice head bath because I had oil in my hair. And fortunately, I came out on time, and then you said it's at 6. So I was like, okay, let me rush. So I didn't have my hair is still very wet. It's okay. Go ahead.
Okay, great. Thank you so much, firstly, for accepting the invite to chat with me. I know you said you never done a live, and it was very nice of you to say yes to this. I think a lot of people are saying hello to you. I can't hear you. Could you get closer to the hello?
Hold on. Okay.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Thank you.
You know what? I should request my
The
daughter
boy.
to give headphones. That would probably help me more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you want? Yeah. Should I?
Yeah, I'll just tell her, get me your headphones now. Okay. Okay. Because she's one who would be like, hold on, let me see.
Okay.
Okay. Babu, can you get me your headphones immediately in my makeup room? Thank you. Yeah, she's coming. Great. Okay. I'm so
Okay.
all of this gadgets. I am like, that's why I called you and asked her, how do I get live?
No, don't worry about that because even I'm new to this and I know only a couple of things on how to do with Insta. And a lot of people are, sorry?
I said, I'm sure you're better than me. Where are the other headphones?
Trying to charge. I'm trying to untangle it.
Okay. She's like,
give me a second. Okay. Wait.
She's like, oh, okay. Yeah, we can go ahead till she gives me the headphone.
Okay. Firstly, thank you so much. Like I reiterated, thank you for joining me. And of course, you're a wonderful person to speak to because you're so vocal. You're a strong personality. You don't mince words. You're an actor turned politician, which gives me a whole range of issues to talk about with you. So that's also, wonderful. Firstly, I want to talk about the film industry, because the film industry has come to a complete standstill, and it's only now that the Tamil Nadu government has allowed television serials to start shooting again. You are, of course, the secretary of the Small Screen Producers Association as well. So is the television industry now in Tamil Nadu ready to start shooting with the health and safety measures in place? Because it'll mean more costs as well, isn't it, for them?
Yes, we have to be extra cautious, Latha, because the reason why we wanted to start shoot, at least for General Secretary of the Council for Small Screen, we know for sure that we have more than 6,000 workers, the daily wages, who are absolutely jobless, and we know the kind of problems they are going through. They come up with stories, they call up, they come to see us, and it's so painful to see what they are going through. We thought, why not the small screen? Because you don't need a huge unit, and we shoot in a house. You generally see what a television is about. It's about a family, so the unit is basically small comparatively to a big screen. So we had put forth a request to the Honorable Chief Minister and the Ministry of I&B, Dr. Mr. Kadambu Raju sir. And since the entire AIDMK comes from film industry, whether it was Purachi Talaivar or Purachi Talaivi Amma, They understand the problems of the film industry and the small screen television. So they agree to allow us to start shooting for television, and we'll be eternally grateful to them. They have allowed us, but of course there are a lot of restrictions. We have to pertain the you know uh, whatever it is, the certificates of the people who are going to work, and then we have to take permissions, the location permissions, everything. So it's a long process. That is why, despite they giving us even 60 people can work, and when we talk about 60 people, it is not, a lot of people I understand are saying 60 members, that's a huge. I said, no, 60 members includes our post production people who are behind the screen, not on the sets, but away. Uh, is small work with them. We have to make sure that the location is completely sanitized. We maintain a lot of hygiene. We need to train a couple of workers. We have to decide how the food is going to be. We cannot have 40 members on the sets. So who comes in, who goes out. So it's a long process, and that is why we, the Small Screen Producer Council office bearers, and FEFC President Mr. R.K. Silvamani and his office bearers, we have been having meetings day in and out. We have been talking to each other how to take this. So now we have come to a conclusion. Now we have finally found a route as to we can start work. So early we have rolled.
Right. So it's wonderful that, you've taken the initiative to go and approach, the CM through the ministers and do what is necessary to get the, small screen industry flourishing again. But with regard to the film industry, you're also a very successful producer. The shutdown of theaters and, of course, film shoots also it's created massive losses for the Indian film industry. What is the film industry in Tamil Nadu looking to the government to help them out with, especially with regard to opening of theaters and so on?
See, even today I had a meeting with the Honorable CM, and we did speak about how we can open up the theaters. But again, it's key prospect what he says, because people are going to be within the closed AC rooms, the place. And the air conditioning is poses a huge problem, a major problem for COVID-19. Closed rooms and the of virus bacteria stays in the air. So they're saying it poses a big problem for us. They have asked the theaters to clean up because they've been shut for 2 months. They have to start running the air. But I think we also Tamil cinema alone has incurred a loss of more than 600 crores in these last television industry is more than amount of 70 days for us. But we are looking forward that probably even the cinema, they might put the smaller, not the large.
Your voice is breaking. I can't hear you.
Okay, wait. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So, the industry is huge. We generally make films where you have almost 200, 250 unit members when we shoot for a large scale films. But I think CM is going to understand the problems of the other workers and again, the film industry, which needs to survive. So I think we should be able to convince them and start shooting with a smaller unit. Theaters, it's going to take a little time to open up. We also have to see how people are going to be, accepting the fact that they are fine being in the same room, air conditioned room with a stranger during this COVID. So as far as films being releasing in the theaters, people coming back to the theaters, we are very optimistic because it's a huge market and people love going to the theaters. That the feel of big films, the euphoria, always there in the theater. I'm sure people would want to watch a superstar in the theater. They would want to watch Ajit in the theater. They want to watch Surya and they would watch Vijay in the theater. They don't want to watch them on OTT. So the feel of clapping, throwing confettis, and it's all together. So I'm sure that very optimistic, very optimistic that the theater should be opening soon. People come back to the theater. after all the norms, after all the regulations.
Okay. I'm not able to hear you again. It keeps going
Oh,
off.
my phone. I am like,
Oops. Hello?
I don't know. I'm.
Okay. Oops. Yeah.
Is it okay now?
Yeah. Okay. Sorry about this. Now, specifically speaking about COVID, in Chennai, especially, there is a lot of anger with how the government has handled it, because the number of cases every day is just, it's unbelievable. And the private hospitals also, they seem to be fleecing patients. There's a big issue. So there are a lot of issues which seem to be going on right now, especially when it comes to Chennai, into the whole handling of this crisis. What do you think about this?
See, to be very honest, Latha, if there was a complete failure on the government side, I think we would have seen a huge spike in Tamil Nadu all over, not this city alone. They're able to sustain COVID positive patients. They are able to sustain the growth of COVID in other districts, except for Chennai and a couple of districts surrounding Chennai. Leaves a lot to think about. I think when I step out, 70 days I was at home. I stepped out just once for my dental work emergency. But now when I walk, when I go out, I'm driving, I see people very, very lethargic attitude. They're out on the streets, sitting, yapping. The youngsters on the bikes, they're gathered in the bike. The women folk are sitting on the floor and talking to each other. Nobody is wearing a mask. Nobody's taking precautionary measures. So how much can the government do? Why there's a huge spike in Chennai and surrounding Chennai? We need to think on that. If the state, if government parts 1,100, and then out of that 900 and odd are from Chennai. So the five things that why five is first, I must tell you, the
Yeah.
is it okay now?
Yeah.
Okay. So they feel there's a stigma attached to it. They don't want to go and get themselves checked. They don't want to. They don't want them. To come positive after being tested. There's a fear that they will be quarantined for 14 days. There's a fear that something might happen to them. There's a fear that there might be a death. But I think we need to understand that death ratio in Tamil Nadu is below 1%.
Right.
Okay. So the death ratio and the recovery ratio is pretty high, almost 60 to 65% of recovery ratio. So we have to see on the positive side of it. If you are symptomatic, or even if you're asymptomatic, you have light fever, you have some rash, you have some cough, some irritation in the throat, I don't think there's any harm in going yourself checking, because you not only safeguard yourself, you do not jeopardize the safety of your loved ones and others around.
Right.
People have to come out of this fear that they need to go and check themselves. And I think the minute they start doing that, looking at the positive side, rather than having this mindset, oh, if I'm a COVID patient, if I test positive, I'm going to die. That fear needs to come out. So once that fear is out, it will be fine. But people, especially in urban areas, people still live in that fear.
Right. I think you put it very well, because the responsibility also lies with people. It's not just on the government, to take those measures. But coming to the center, there was extensive criticism also of how the center handled the whole migrants issue. And in fact, Priyanka Vadra, she sent out 1,000 buses to take migrants home in UP, which recently happened. But the BJP then accused Congress President Rahul Gandhi ji of saying, of playing politics with misery and not helping migrants in the Congress ruled states. What would you say to that?
No, I think this is not the time to play politics, whether it is BJP or Congress. It's there for the world to see that how the central government has failed completely in, working on the basic thing as to how the lockdown has to be brought in. This was not demonetization. This was not about GST. This was about millions of migrant workers who need to go back home. They will be out of job. They cannot go back home with everything locked down. There are no buses, no trains, no trucks, nothing. How are they going to head back home? So they should have thought about it. But unfortunately, they thought that they could pull it off, and there was a complete lockdown. The minute Mr. Rahul Gandhi had spoken about seriousness of COVID-19 corona way back in early February,
Right.
he was made fun of. They said that Mr. Rahul Gandhi did not even talk about it because it is not a national threat. But here we are being the 7th country in the world with the highest number of COVID patients.
Right.
So, if we had to take a little more seriously, if the government of India had planned it out about the migrant workers, if they had to plan it out about the other people who are there, not only workers, people who are there outside, out on streets, how are they going to survive if the businesses are going to shut? What about the daily wage workers? What about the others who are the poor? And let me tell you, all
Continuity.
yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. The parliament continued till the 23rd of March because they wanted to bring down the government in Madhya Pradesh. So they were horse trading, they were playing
Correct.
around. Yeah. So, I mean, if there was so much of threat, and when WHO had said that this is going to be a pandemic, I think they should have shut everything. Why wait till the 23rd of March? The minute Tablighi happened, you should have shut. They didn't do it. So I think, and Priyanka Gandhi Vadra is trying to send the buses, and Yogi Adityanath trying to stop that. And then the blame game starts. I mean, even an actor like Sonu Sood could send the migrants back in a week's time. So it took more than 70 days for the government, and yet the central government, and yet they have not got it right. They have opened up the trains where there are no facilities, there's no food, there's no water. We have more than 80 people dying in the Shramik trains. And
Right.
I mean, so painful, yet they don't have an answer to that. It's the people, the humanity in people which have brought them out, keeping all the differences, whether it is color, caste, keeping the distances away and helping the migrant workers. So I
Right.
think if a common man can do it, I'm sure the government could do a better job.
Right. And interestingly, when we speak about the Congress president, today there was a survey that came out. I don't know if you happen to see it. The INS Sea Water State of the Nation 2020 survey. And according to that, it said that Rahul Gandhi's approval rating was lower than the chief ministers of the Congress ruled states. Does that impact at all on what,
No, in fact, I think people should stop being so obsessed with Rahul Gandhi. He is not the Congress president anymore. He is just a MP from Wayanad. Srimati Sonia Gandhi is the president of Indian National Congress. So I do not
Right.
understand whether they are the sea voters, whether they are these, surveyors, or the press, or the BJP. Why are they so obsessed with Rahul Gandhi? You don't want to give him a chance, yet you continue to say that this man is not of any hope. I mean, stop being obsessed with Rahul Gandhi. Let him live his life. You live your life. But then the minute you keep, talking about Rahul Gandhi, you keep planning trolls, you plan memes, you paid people, paid trolls, and people who make these memes to defame Rahul Gandhi, shows very well, irrespective of what these surveys says. I'm saying that you're so obsessed with Rahul Gandhi. And why Rahul Gandhi? He's just one of the MPs in a country now, right? I think we should look at the Moody survey, which says that how India
Oops.
in the So I think we should be concentrating on that, that the country's rating has come down in the last 2 years. 6 years of BJP rule and the country's rating has come down. So I think we should be concentrating on that and not on one person, one individual called Rahul Gandhi. There's a lot more to this country than Rahul Gandhi.
Okay. And interestingly, now we have the elections in Tamil Nadu in 2021. So the Congress still partnering with the DMK, that's still going strong. So how prepared is the Congress to take on the fight with the ADMK? Because they seem to have, they've completed the 5-year term and they seem to be in a very good position now.
See, Latha, I really wouldn't be able to answer that. I have been staying away from the political scenario for some time, especially the state politics, because there are certain norms which needs to be followed, and
Right.
I have been more on the national side. I leave it with the senior leaders. I leave it with TNCC president to speak on this, that how it's going to be. Yes, AIDMK, now the elections are more about not what the government Jayalalitha had won, but an individual called Mr. Edapadi Panichami. How well has he done as a chief minister? How well he has governed the state? All that is there. So it's only during the election time we will know. You don't have the two stalwarts of the two opposition parties. I mean, two parties. You don't have Amaya Jayalalitha from AIDMK. You don't have Dr. Kalingat from DMK. So it's going to be a different election altogether. We are going to see for the first time, and going to see an election where both the parties, they're going to have two new leaders facing the election. So I think Tamil Nadu people are quite intelligent. So we'll wait and watch. And I think closer to the date, closer to election time, I'll be able to answer your queries more.
Okay. Interestingly, two of your colleagues, friends, from the film industry, superstar Rajinikanth and of course Kamal Haasan, are both part of the political sphere. Of course, Rajinikanth has not formally launched, himself in politics. But what do you think about, do you think that if Rajinikanth in January decides that yes, I am stepping into politics. He, of course, said he doesn't want to be CM. But how do you think that would impact politics in Tamil Nadu?
See, it's going to be different. Like I said, you don't have the two stalwarts. People used to look at Dr. Kalingar here. People used to look at Madam Jayalalitha and cast their votes. But now both of them are not there. So there is definitely a vacuum where people can also look for the third front. But we are not sure whether we can form a triangle. Because if you say that Rajni sir is going to start a party only in Jan, then it's going to be pretty late. Because the elections are going to be in April. May, you have to form the government. February, you have to start working on it. So the time is too short for the people to understand, Rajni sir announcing his party, starting his party, and then thinking about what the, his ideas are for the state, in what way he wants to work. So all these
Hello?
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
He's done pretty, Kamal sir has done pretty well for himself. When we saw the last election being a first time, he did pretty well. So I think we have to wait and watch how people are going to actually look at this election next year. It's going to be very different. So let's see. But I really hope Rajni sir starts the party early, because I want people from film industry to come into politics, and it should not end with Rajni sir and Kamal sir alone. I mean, you have other youngsters who can come in and make a difference. And there's no written rule. It's only in politics people do not ask you anything. So I think you have a backing, you have the following of the people, people are ready to trust you. Then I think whoever wants to be in politics should take a plunge. But Rajni sir should start early. And I must say through this that Rajni sir cannot be the kingmaker. He has to be the king. Only then people are going to vote for him. Because if Rajni sir says that I'm going to be the kingmaker, I don't think people are going to trust. Rajni sir has to be the king. He has to be there. People will look at him and vote for him. So I think that will make a lot of difference. So I really hope that Rajni sir comes out and says that he is contesting the election and not anybody else.
Right. Okay. I think that's a very valid point, actually, what you stated. Coming to women's rights and issues, that has been, a core part of your life because you've spoken about so many issues over the last few years and stood up for women's rights. Um, how important is it, do you think, for women today to stand up for themselves? And what is the kind of advice you give your own daughters every day?
The only advice I give my daughters is stand up for what you feel is right. Until unless you do not believe in yourself, you will not be able to move at all. You need to speak, and you will speak honestly, you'll speak with conviction, and you'll speak with confidence only when you believe in what you're saying. Otherwise, you just cannot speak. You cannot be a parrot where somebody else has written a paragraph for you and you just repeat it. No, you cannot do that. You're not doing a school homework here. This is about life. This is about what the world has to offer you. And, it pains to see that even today, in the 21st century, it's women who have really moved ahead, and we still continue to talk about women breaking the glass ceiling. I said, no, they have reached Mars. I mean, why are we talking about breaking the glass ceiling? We are way beyond that. So, we still find it very amused and surprised when a woman makes it in this world. Oh, that woman has made it. Oh, that's a huge thing. Yeah. I mean, why? There's no, but we have to get rid of this hierarchy and patriarchy attitude where women needs a permission from a man to decide what she needs to do with her life. It's her life, and she will decide what she wants to do with her life. You don't need a man's permission to do that.
Right. But one of the things which is very disturbing in the last, couple of years is that more young girls are being more prone to, sexual harassment. And recently we saw the boys' locker room, that scandal also broke out. And it's now, happening at much younger ages. So where do you think we're going wrong as a society? Why is this problem, now all pervasive? Right from school it has started.
I think I would like to answer this more as a mother. Most of the places I have seen, they don't want kids to trouble them, so they hand over their iPads or phones to the children because they don't want to be troubled. Okay, right. When you're feeding the kids, there's a phone or an iPad. When you're going out, you want to be talking to your friends, you want to be comfortable, then you hand over your phone or iPad. Let us understand that everything is at the fingertips on these gadgets. You don't know what is going to pop up from where. And you're so busy in your own life that you forget to look in what are watching. So somewhere down the line, I play parents grow up, probably do not.
Sorry, I didn't get that.
Kids do not feel secured in the family environment.
Okay.
They see how women are treated at home, where women probably in most of the places are subjected to any kind of abuse, whether it's a physical or verbal abuse, and they see women actually keeping quiet and taking it because they think it's part of a marital life to be sexually, mentally, physically or verbally abused, and I think it's part and parcel of a married life. The domestic violence, what you talk about. So the kids grow up watching all that. The kids, we feel that, he's a small kid or she's a small kid, they won't understand. No. Today's kids are far more understanding than what you and I were in during our childhood. We didn't have these gadgets, we didn't have this science, we didn't have this technology, we didn't have this exposure to the world. Our childhood was going to school, coming back home, finishing our homework, going down on the streets, playing, falling down, hurting ourselves, come back. That was a childhood, but now this is not. I mean, you don't see kids playing out on the streets.
Right.
So I think, we parents have to be extra careful to keep an eye on it. You trust your children, but do keep an eye as to what kind of friends they keep, where they are going, who are they meeting, what kind of talks they have on their phones, what are they watching on their iPads or phones. I think it's very important for us to keep an eye on that. And any hint any hint on a change in the behavior or the language, we need to really probe into it and speak to the kids. I think that is where we generally go wrong.
What do you think mothers should teach their young boys?
First, the mother should stop taking bullshit in a marital life, which the children see the mothers going through. Like I said, thinking that any kind of abuse is part and parcel of a married life. Secondly, one thing they have to tell her son is, I'm sure you wouldn't want anybody else to talk like that about your mother. So do not speak about anybody else. You respect women, because until unless the young kids don't learn to respect women, what they see, they will not be able to respect their own mothers later, because they will say that you never taught me that you have to respect a woman. I grew up looking at you, watching you, being submissive to all kind of abuse. So I thought it's fine for me to abuse another woman.
Right.
So I think women have to teach their sons, the mothers have to teach their sons to respect women first.
Okay. There was an interesting statement you made last year at a conclave where you said men don't know what women want.
True, very true.
You still believe that?
I definitely do believe that. Nobody would know what a woman wants.
Right.
See, I love the fact that people say that, oh, I know her very well. But there's a mystery to us. I'm sure your husband knows you extremely well, but there is a mystery to you. My husband knows me for 25 years. He knows me in and out. Probably even knows what my clothes look like. But there is a mystery to me, which I like to keep it to myself. So I think, men definitely do not know what women want. Because only we know what we want. And we work towards our dreams, because our dreams become the most important thing for us. And until unless we do not keep a bit of mystery to ourselves, then men will stop trying to read us. They will lose interest in women. So, we always need to keep some kind of a mystery to ourselves, so that, the men are intrigued, men want to know what this woman is thinking.
Okay. That's very interesting. Good point, actually. Yeah. Lastly, I want to know, because there were a lot of pictures you used to put up of you cooking food Sunday, cakes and biryani for your kids. And so how do you juggle your roles? Because you're an actor, you're a politician, you're a producer, you're a mom, you're a wife. You have more number of roles, many hats as compared to, a lot of women. So how do you manage to juggle everything successfully?
A very simple formula: if there's a will, there is a way.
Okay.
So I follow that. Sundays, yes, of course, are exclusively for my children. I don't budge on Sundays. After 8:39, my phones are on a silent mode. I will not take any calls. So until unless before sleeping, I look into it. If there's a very important call, then I respond with a message. But otherwise, the dinner time is with the kids, because we love spending. There's a standard rule: we all eat together, and my kids and my husband, they all sit together, and I literally feed them. So we are watching films, and they all sit, and I keep feeding them. So that has been the practice for a very long time, and I love that time. And then we play Uno, or we watch a cartoon film, or we play carom, or we play dayam. So we really enjoy our times together. And then the kids have so many stories. Even if the father is not there, the kids have a lot of stories. What is happening, what happened in school, or what happened in the class. And they were online classes, so they have stories about that. And my daughter now, the elder one, studies in London. Of course, she's here now because of the lockdown. So she has a lot of stories as to what happened in her college and what happened in her apartment. So I love spending that time with my girls. I'm a little strict mother. I am the Hitler, but at the same time, I'm a very good friend to them. I can say that they are my best friend, and I'm their best friends.
Okay.
And they're grown up, so they understand politics. So even they have their opinions at times about politics. So it's a very nice phase. And my husband is a very chilled out, a very homely person. I mean, if he's not shooting, you won't find him anywhere. It takes a lot of coaxing for him to move out of the house. His room, his home theater, and he's the happiest person.
Okay.
So,
And that brings me
yeah.
to my last question. You've been married for so many years, successfully, happy, and I see all the love in all the photos that you post together as a family with Sundar. So, what is, according to you, the key to a happy marriage and a successful marriage?
I think first basic point is love.
Huh.
Okay, without that you will not be able to move even an inch, because if you stop loving the person, then there's no point to the relationship. So the love is still the same. He still looks at me and I get goosebumps. I immediately feel shy. I turn red if he looks at me romantically, which he rarely does because he's not a romantic person. I think more than that is respecting each other individually. That's very important. How he
Right.
respects me, how he respects my thoughts, my ideas. And it's the same with me. I respect him. I trust him completely. I know that if anything, I am a little confused, I will say what he would want to say. And I've never heard him say in these 25 years, don't do it. Or he'll always like, this is what I feel, but then I leave it to you. You take a call. It's your life. So he allows me to grow, or I allow me to do. I think that's of that's the bonding.
Can't hear you.
Okay.
Sorry.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I said we love the bonding of the family that we have built together. For both of us, nothing else matters but our family. We can check off the entire world for the family, what we have built together. I think that
Yeah.
keeps us together all the time.
Okay, okay. Thank you so much for chatting with me. It was really nice of you to give your time, and I think you were very candid as always, and very open-hearted. And a lot of my friends, and some of them, in fact, know you personally. Also, they were very excited. The minute I said I'm going to be chatting with you, and they were very excited because they said, "Oh my God, she's such an amazing person." So they wanted me to convey that to you as well.
Thank you so much, Latha. Thank you. It was such a
Thank
pleasure
you.
to do this with you. I'm
Thank you.
glad.
Thank you
First
so
time
much.
I'm coming live like that and I'm doing it with you. I'm glad.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Okay. Thank you. Take care, and I'll
Take
chat with
care.
you soon. Thank you.
Sure.
Bye.
Thanks a ton,
Bye.
Latha. Bye.
Bye. Bye.